Pussy ass world. Yeah. Man, I gained 10 pounds eating the red and the green M&Ms, bro. I gained 10 pounds so quick without I'll chop it up today. How you brothers been for the week, man?
Oh, we've been good. We've been
good.
Good. We can't ignore the ratings. I mean, this light skin thing is working for me and Derek.
I heard it. Where do we start?
Yo, what's up? Welcome back to Let's Chop It Up. Please follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Like and subscribe and tell a friend about four brothers down here on this YouTube channel. My brothers from another mother's been a minute, man. I haven't seen you guys in a while. So Derek, man, talk to me. How you doing, brother?
Yo, man, I'm good, brothers. Missed y'all dearly and sincerely. You know what I mean? Missed everybody. Things have been things have been going very, very well in Casa de Bazemore, man. I'm telling you, Casa de Derek, man. We've been up. I'm just gonna do a little humble bragging right quick. You know what I'm saying? And I might save it best for last. So here it is. First of all, my oldest son is back, visited for me. So he's in the crib right now, man. He showed up for a little, party for his, his friend, his female friend for, when he's in town, they go holler, so, his ex or girlfriend.
Special lady friend.
I don't know where they at with it right now. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's his girlfriend. You know what I mean? but I say his friend. So, but he came in town for her birthday, man. And it's always a pleasure to have him here, man. We are finally full again. I got the whole family together, and you know how it is, man. I think about him all the time. I try not to press him too much. You know what I mean? You got to give a young man his space to grow and do his thing and be a man. But damn, boy, I be missing him. You know what I'm saying? So that's my oldest, man. I love him beyond all. You know what I mean? So he's been around. He came in and he made it. My youngest son, I think we finally found a nice athletic outlet for him. You know what I mean? So we're gonna probably put him into some PAL boxing or whatever, get him back in. He seems like he's the athletic one, so we're gonna probably put him into that. Just to kind of get him used to moving and getting his body together. Because as I said before, our family trainer actually passed during COVID, so he's been mostly affected, I think, above as well as myself. So we're trying to get him back into that. But the best is while my son, so all this is happening, my middle son, Derek Jr., National Junior Honor Society, man. He made it. We came in, you know what I'm saying? We were at the ceremony this Tuesday. Yo, it was fantastic, man, to see him get up on that stage, man, to see him, do their thing, man. It was a beautiful ceremony, beautiful black and brown children. The best of the best, man, in our area, Freeport, New York. And it was just it was a magnificent, exceptional night. We went in, had a little dinner afterward, the whole family, man, and we just really enjoyed the evening, man. Hey, how you doing, Emmanuel? So EOTs, what's happening? So we just really up. Hey, baby. Hey, fellas, I missed you too. Yeah, we all missed you guys, Mm-hmm. So we really up, man, right now. I'm really feeling up, And I'm back here with y'all badass brothers, man, to kind of do this thing once again, So I'm gonna turn it on over to Damien, man. Damien, what's going on with you, brother? Talk to us.
Not much, man. I'm happy to be here. I missed y'all too. This week off, week on, I don't know. It's not the same. It don't feel as good, but I'm happy to see y'all. I'm doing all right. I'm still on my fitness journey. I'm feeling good. Now that the weather's getting a little bit better, I might be able to go out and play some ball again. I might shoot up a couple bricks, build a few homes over the weekend. That's just everyday thing.
Can't say basketball and shoot up with John Morant, but that's another subject.
Oh my gosh. I hope I can't say that's a topic, but if it is, though, yeah, there's a lot to say about that stuff.
We got to talk about that.
Congratulations to your children. Congratulations to your family. First and foremost, I want to say that that's proud of you. You're doing a great job with them.
Thank you.
M. Cat, who just said, peace, Damien. This man, he picked me up. I dropped off my car today, to get new struts. So the mechanic dope. If anybody needs somebody out in Fayetteville, Georgia, let me know. I'm gonna recommend them. They hooked me up. They gave me a fair price. My car's running smoother, brand new struts. I met him on the drive. It was about a 25-30 minute drive. He's a dope guy. We had a great conversation. I told him about the show. We exchanged information, and he's actually on the show listening right now. That's a beautiful thing. Hopefully we don't bore him to death to where he's like, I ain't coming back here no more. But outside of that, we had a great conversation about just the state of black men and some other things like that. So, I'm glad to hear him. I'm glad to see him. What's up, Emmanuel, Ortiz, everybody else? Outside of that, I'm happy. I'm ready. I got a lot to get off my chest, so I'm gonna try to chill. Rest in peace, Big Ron. But outside of that, Kelvin,
Big Ron,
how's your week?
Oh, my week is going pretty good, gentlemen. Always good to be back with you all. I think 2023 is going to be a great year. I have this entrepreneurial spirit. So I'm opening a new establishment, chicken, sneakers, and liquor. And so that's going to cover the whole gambit. Also, I got this new special coming out where I am opening a soul food health spot. So we got collard green flavored smoothies, neck bone flavored cheesecake. I'm telling you, I'm about to change the game up in here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know exactly what it is. Y'all already know. So no, but other than that, man, everything is going good. Much like Damien, I'm about to get in shape. I had a revelation the other day. I had to be real with myself. All right, everybody know Kel is a sex symbol from back in the day, but I realized it's waning. It's starting to fade. But you know what? I was ready to hand the baton to my nephew. I was ready to hand it to him because he's getting fly now. But I said I had to take it back. So I declared the rest of this year, between now and the summer, I'm about to get right. About to get the body right. About to get everything right. So I'm making a comeback. You understand what I'm saying? And then the biggest thing I want to say to everybody out there, Aaron Rodgers on his way to New York soon. I'm telling you this right now. Aaron Rodgers coming to New York. And yes, the Giants played themselves, giving Danny Dimes $180 million. If Aaron Rodgers come to New York, it's gonna be a problem. And I will see y'all in the Super Bowl. Represent.
Wait, can I please? Did I not ask you about 2 to 3 weeks ago how you felt about if Aaron Rodgers came to the Jets? Did I not say that to you? We're gonna have to go back to the tape.
What I say?
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I was posturing. That's what I really want. I want anybody that can play. I'm tired of seeing scrubs. I'm tired of it. But I'm good. But let me put it back into the hands of the point guard. 9-game winning streak. Lose the trap game to Charlotte, of course. The point guard, the orchestrator. D, what's good, big fella? What's the deal?
Yo, listen, I was not gonna give my Knicks. Everybody that doubted 9 games. We're in the 4th place, right? We in 4th. We got the 4th seed right now.
Fifth behind Charlotte, but behind Cleveland.
Maybe
Brooklyn and Cleveland, I think.
Brooklyn behind us, I think, right?
No, you're ahead of Brooklyn. You behind Cleveland.
Yeah, I think behind Cleveland. But anyway, my Knicks is doing well, man. That trap game, I knew they was gonna come out sluggish. They put it all on the court when they played against Boston in the last hard game. I knew they was gonna lose that. That's why I didn't take that bet. I took that bet on the points with plays, but I didn't take the 9-point bet. I didn't think Knicks was gonna cover 9. So, but everything's good. Mom Duke is doing better. My son's behaviors are being good. They got to be getting the meds right to get his behavior together. What up, Juan? How you feeling, player? But speaking of mechanics, is your mechanic? Ask your mechanic was ever on crack. Now, see if your mechanic was ever on crack, he's a good mechanic because crack mechanics can fix anything that has movement attached to it.
Yo, they can take it apart. They can't put it back.
Yeah, but their fingers look like this. 2 fingers they black. A crack can fix anything. Change tires with no crowbar, and they can do it all. So if you got a good
catalytic converters,
they steal them. They put them back for you. They say, "I got one. I just happen to have one just for this car." you know what I mean? So, Damien, you got a good crack mechanic, man. They'll applaud him, man. What's your crack mechanic name? Shout him out. Tell him we can find a crack mechanic. He got to be under a shade tree. Crack mechanic has no garage. He's under a tree. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a good crack.
Yo, there's a mechanic around here that do everybody car on the block in a wheelchair. I got to give it to the brother. He's in the wheelchair. Straight up, he's been running his business for years. You know what I'm saying? He roll around to any side of the car, get it done. The dude I got to give a brother credit for resiliency.
Where does Kelvin live at?
You know where I live. You know exactly.
But
you live on Sesame Street.
You know what I'm saying? But no,
That's
like real quick before we get into everything else, it's like I wanted to talk. We talking about basketball. John Morant, man. I know we really touched on it before, and this got to be the most ignorant wannabe 8 Mile imitator I ever seen in my life. Like you got the world, and you want to run around with guns and beat up little kids with guns, flash guns at the. You have your homeboys at the like. Anybody want to say something about John Morant?
He was on some LeBron trajectory, man. You know what I'm saying? We look because LeBron about to fade out. You know what I'm saying? He was right on that trajectory. $200 million contract. You know what I'm saying? Nike contract. He was there. He was right there. And this dude, I never seen nobody screw themselves out some money, hustle backwards so fast and so hard, man, in the NBA history, bro. It's unreal. He's
about to Plexico himself.
Yeah, man. I think
worse than that.
It's worse than that.
He got the feds on it now. Now the feds are on it.
Oh, forget about it, bro.
Yeah, he's trying to see because he brought them guns across how many state lines, how many federal laws did he break?
Yo, man, we're not gonna see him for a minute.
Joe, you know what's so, and it sucks because they were saying he's about to be the face of the NBA after LeBron because he's one of the most exciting players. He's young. He's only 22, 23. I don't know.
23, man. 23.
That means he got at least a decade of doing stuff that we only saw Allen Iverson.
Yeah, he's not even in his prime yet.
It was set up, man.
And he's getting better.
Yeah, man.
He's on a young team. Like his big man is en route to be defensive player of the year, leading league in blocks. How many of y'all remember a young great guard with a big man that's so already like a 25-year-old big man that's leading the league? You don't see that.
Damian, not to cut you off, but just to be clear at this moment. So nobody read my book. My people don't know that. Like none of y'all read that. You know, okay, I'm going to because it seemed like y'all didn't read it. So okay, I'm listening. Though, but go ahead.
I thought I read the one we never gonna get nowhere as a people.
Oh yeah. That one came out at Christmas. This is different. This was spring.
Right.
Okay,
I listened to the audio book. All right, so I'm gonna cut it short, but. You know, the $200 million that he already has, the next bargaining agreement, when they sign max contracts, you're going to be getting 65, 75 a year.
Yes,
so their next contract would have been $400 million 5-year type contract for him as a player. And you did say that Nike no longer has Kyrie. Who do you think they was going to replace all of Kyrie marketing budget with?
Right there.
The new face of the NBA.
Right there.
So it's in my head, he was a billionaire in the making in the next decade. He could do that off of basketball alone, not even the other stuff. And he was for Powerade. I think he was a face of Powerade. That's too much.
And Powerade doesn't have an athlete on it in a while, like a basketball player.
And especially not somebody like him who is one of the most exciting people. Excuse me.
His father's failing him. So what he needs is a mentor, and I nominate Will Smith. He needs somebody to take him under his wing. That's what he needs.
So instead of shooting guns, he's gonna be pistol whipping people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
So it's just sad because
Sean, what up, Shabazz?
But there was reports saying that they also had a players only meeting where they addressed
just before that
concern.
Just before that
it happened.
That was crazy.
But so it's like your teammates is trying to help you. And his father may not be failing him. He may just be in this position where he's the breadwinner now. So he thinks he's the man.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's a thing that happens in most communities, you know, not just the black community, but most communities.
No, I get that.
Out earning, you know.
But Derek, your son is a grown man, right? But he still has enough where you can reel him in, though, if you need to, right? You can reel him in within reason. There should be a voice that he can hear above every other voice.
You know what? I everything that yes, so far. And I hope that never changes. That being said, he ain't got $200 million in his pocket either. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? So I would like to think, you know what I mean? Because if I was 23 years old with $200 million, Lord knows I probably would have killed myself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So, I mean, that's why I think LeBron is so amazing.
I'm gonna say take the LeBron playbook, bro.
Yeah, that's why I think he's so amazing.
Send all y'all to school. We're gonna figure this shit out, and that's how nobody messes up the bag.
Yep.
That young man, LeBron, got in here in the league at 19 years old, man. He never went through nothing even remote like this, man. You know what I'm saying?
Years.
No. He lived. I give him credit that LeBron is phenomenal with that. To To me, Jordan's the better
What up,
player.
Simone?
Yes,
LeBron is the
yes,
better
Simone.
person.
Yes,
What up,
Simone.
Simone?
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
We don't got to get into that.
And if that interaction with Shannon Sharp is any
Sean, what up?
indication,
Yep.
man, yep, that's
They
exactly.
should let Shannon Sharp whip his ass.
Should have.
Right? Because Shannon
Honestly-
Sharp, people don't realize how big and strong Shannon is, bro.
Yeah.
Who don't
Honestly,
realize that? That's what I don't understand.
first of all, I would say
because
that,
I
I would
realize
just
it.
say, honestly, I think if we can, I would love to give him some grace because he's 23, and I know we can jump on
Yeah.
Absolutely.
young black men harder than we do anybody else. Like, Johnny Manziel was doing a lot of stuff, and they ain't never give him this much heat.
Yeah.
And now, did he do the same things?
I'm about to say, Johnny
What's
ain't
up
no
so
gun.
soon?
So soon, what's up?
He
bro?
wasn't-
Just to be
doing
clear
what,
right
bro?
now, just to be clear, Johnny Manziel is white, right?
See, I'm
I
just
just want
saying.
because I don't want to
Yeah.
ruin the surprise ending. I don't want to have a spoiler alert. Yes,
It
they
ain't.
do
It
treat
ain't.
him
It ain't
differently,
a
Damien. Yes,
surprise.
they
It's
do.
just there's some play. What was that quarterback who stole money from charity? There was some other things that
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
get
Brett
this
Favre.
time.
I'm like,
I'm
yeah,
just
that was wild.
they're people. I didn't
But
know.
Damien,
I don't want to
we know that though. That's the thing. That's the thing. We know that. And you know what's hard for me?
Mhm.
I buried and eulogized my mother when I was 22 years old. So sometimes I don't gauge what it is to be that young because some of us take responsibility on very, very early. But what you do is, as a reference point, he could look at other 22 and 23-year-olds in the league where it goes. And that's what I'm saying about having a father or having somebody that can say, hey, you're blowing it. You're messing it up. You're ruining it. And that's what I'm saying. There should be one voice. And again, because one day you'll get physically stronger than your father. One day you'll be physically bigger. But what it is it's supposed to be such a level of respect there because it is your father that, you know what I'm saying? Like I've seen some dudes that was monsters in the street. Their mother could come outside and be like, come here. And they you know what I'm saying? They acquiesce. And that's what I'm talking about. Because if we lose that, we're in complete trouble. And to Damien's point, he still is immature, although he is famous, although he is successful. So we should afford him the same grace. The problem is the margin of error. It's so slim these days that you can lose your life or lose your livelihood and never see 24. And so that's why you just got to be a quick learner. The discipline that it took to get to this level and in that league, you don't want to abandon that now. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to abandon that now. I mean, because you've got across the threshold. You've made it into the greatest basketball league on the planet. And you're not only in the league, you're a star. You know what I'm saying? So don't roll the dice on that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's chapter 7, by
agree.
the way. Chapter 7.
And shout out to Derek because he made a beautiful point just earlier. And I know we going over. So Damon, do your thing.
So
point guard.
So Derek, I know you're a big basketball fan. I mean boxing fan. Since we're on the topic of sports, Logan Paul lost his part. Lost on the weekend. Do you think he's still a big draw for the audience boxing world? I think boxing is dead. Jake Paul.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's a draw. He's an entertainer. He's a draw for anything he does. If he goes, he was the first on. He was one of the first on the YouTube train. You know what I'm saying? When YouTube was still a blue ocean. So when anything that he does is going to catch the algorithm. As long as people are still in their phones looking for information, looking for news, looking for entertainment, he's going to continue to pop up. So anything he's involved with, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And as we know, when it comes to entertainment, whether it be sports, whether it be music, whether it be anything, you're going to have that YouTube, that internet presence, that social media presence. So he's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? Now, as for boxing itself, listen, it's a low, I will admit, this is a very, very, very low time in boxing. I'm not going to say it's dead, but I think that we're in a place where we're starting to kind of rejigger some things. We're going to have to figure out who's going to be in charge of this whole thing. You know what I mean? I think what you have, I think we usually think of competition being a great thing when it comes to business or industries. Right now we have different promotions. We have, BLK Prime is the new one on. You got The Zone, you got PBC, you got Top Rank. You have all these different promotions, and what's happening is they're all kind of taken away from each other. I think what's going to have to happen is there's going to have to be some consolidation. Some of them are going to have to fall away. You're going to have to get down to one major one, kind of like the UFC. See, that's the difference between boxing and say the UFC or MMA, there's only one major promotion in UFC. All right, I mean MMA, and that's UFC. Everything else is kind of like the minor leagues. Boxing doesn't really have that, so it's going. So some people are going to have to go out of business, and there's going to have to be some consolidation. They're always, and not to mention they're like 1,000 belts because everybody's just trying to grab money. You know what I mean? So there's some things that are going to have to happen, that are going to have to fall away. I still love boxing. I'm so happy that Jake Paul got his ass whooped. And I don't think, and let me tell you something, the only thing I don't like about it was a Fury that did it. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't gonna win no damn decisions against any of the Furies, because those are some cheating ass mugs, man. I'm gonna tell you that too. But that's cool. If it had to happen, let it happen to him. You know what I mean? So that's where I kind of stand with it on this weekend. So boxing, I still got a love for it, man. But we just got to work on it. We just got to be a little patient. And we still got some nice talent, some upcoming fights that are interesting. We just need to make them happen. You know?
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. So let me see. Speaking of some other bullshit, because boxing right now to me is some bullshit. But Department of Justice issued a sketch rebuke to Louisville police in a report launched after Breonna Taylor killing. Jamie, anybody want to jump on this?
A blatant, horrific disregard for humanity. Just moments ago, the Attorney General delivering a stinging indictment of the Louisville Metro Police Department. Merrick Garland announcing the results of a 2-year probe that followed the police killing of Breonna Taylor. Investigators say Louisville cops trampled on civil rights in their everyday police work. And the Justice Department finding that Louisville cops violated just about every shred of decency, engaging in outright racist behavior against the black community.
Some officers have demonstrated disrespect for the people they are sworn to protect. Some have videotaped themselves throwing drinks at pedestrians from their cars, insulted people with disabilities, and called black people monkeys, animal, and boy. This conduct is unacceptable.
Yeah, otherwise known as Tuesday. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm shocked. I didn't expect that. I don't think police behave like that.
No, what? Why would they do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about it earlier. You know, if you go back 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever year, it's the same thing. Is the slurs don't even change much. It's the same thing. And it's like
can we at least get can we at least get creative? You know
you know what I'm saying? Like in other words, every era deals with it in whichever way. You know, I'm sure we got cyber racism now. I mean, like in other words, whatever comes out, it just has to be. And so I think that the idea is we just can't we can't fight it from that direction because the playbook has never changed. The question is, what are we going to do? I mean, it's the obvious. It's always this thing. There's going to be an investigation and everything. Then finally they concede where there's no other, you know, nothing else can come out but the truth. And then finally you have to concede. So somebody's covering their behind. Like, yeah, you know, after careful consideration, all these riots and people being upset, they were right that there was injustice. So we do know that. The question is, what do we do about the injustices? And because I think it has to be more than, all right, we'll just concede and we'll pay out the family, we'll have to whatever. It's a problem that is the only way you get rid of weeds, you got to do it from the root. And it's so deeply rooted, deep seated in this country that you never can find the bottom. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But well, it may not be a weed though. It's the entire patch of land.
Right.
You know, we're gonna do the same thing we always do. We're gonna march, we're gonna sell some t-shirts, and we're gonna post about it on social media, and then we're gonna forget about it.
Who's we? I ain't got no t-shirts for sale yet, but go to my website. I might make one tonight. Just so we know. Look, other people getting paid.
I want to make sure we get all the comments in before we go to our guests. Jimmy?
Yeah.
All right.
Juan says, if I'm not mistaken, the officers involved in that type of discourse are no longer on the LMPD because of that conduct. Okay, that's cool. ERTs don't know what's worse, human racist cops or these new robot dogs that will eventually replace these cops. Yeah, that's kind of deep too. Sean, what's up, man? He said, why the DOJ waits so long, plus they got video footage. Let that mistake happen in the Hamptons. Yeah, they'd be on it. Black justice is delayed, you know. greater than 36 months. Yeah, no
Yeah,
doubt.
that's-
It's 3 years.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
without further ado, we have a special guest in coming in tonight. This brother's been on our show before. He's a former NYPD officer, detective, I think sergeant, a lieutenant. I'm sure he's a lieutenant. Jamie, can you bring our boy Miles in, please?
Hey,
Miles, what up, man?
What's going on, fellas?
How you
What's
doing,
happening?
Miles?
What's happening, brother?
All
What's
right,
happening?
what's up?
Good,
What's going on, man? Miles, where you at, man? You scaring us with all that cop stuff in the back. What you
I'm
doing?
in my office, man. This is my life.
Oh. I thought you trying to close a riot, trying to arrest these 4 black men on the show here, man.
This is my life, man. Where, my think tank. But here we go again, man. I'm here on this show again. Last time we was talking about the Scorpion unit in Tennessee. Now the scathing report by the Department of Justice, which is titled "Investigation into the Louisville Police Department." And what the media is missing, it also say into the Louisville Metro government. And it's almost a 90-page report. I started reading the report, and I thought I was back in 1950, 1960 civil rights movement, because Kelvin, you hit on it. Some of the same things they mentioned here are the same things that have been mentioned back then in the civil rights. And they talk about dogs, the illegal use of dogs. They talk about the forced arrest. They talk about injuring citizens. They talk about, killings. The Department of Justice Civil Rights Unit went through hundreds of hours of body cam tapes where these cops and officers didn't have any impunity or any disregard for people's constitutional rights. Not only did they not have any rights, they recorded themselves like Eric Garden, the Attorney General, indicated, throwing items on people, calling people dogs and monkeys, and just assaulting people. So I know one comment by someone said, well, those officers were no longer with the department, but what the Department of Investigation of Justice said, that this is not an individual problem. This is a systemic problem throughout the entire department where leadership supported it. Leadership would start investigations. Leadership would defend this behavior, not only at the police department level, but also at the government level, straight up to the mayor's office, where this behavior will be defended, and actually, there wouldn't even be any investigation into police misconduct. Now, what's interesting, we've never seen a Department of Justice report like this. If you begin to read the first 8 pages, you will say it's unbelievable that in 2020, that this kind of police department was allowed to function in the United States of America. You would think that you were in a third world country based on some of the behavior that was committed by these officers. And what they indicated in the report is that the Breonna Taylor incident was a symptom of the big problem. The fact that they conducted illegal search warrants, illegal arrests, illegal car stops, illegal stops of individuals, and what they did the night that they blasted into this woman's apartment and shot into her apartment without even indicating who they were, not even doing a proper investigation, is that they were running a wild, wild west in Louisville, and they were able to do whatever they wanted to do. And that night, it resulted in a life lost. And God bless her family, God bless Breonna Taylor. But guess what? As the mother says, she's glad that now her daughter's life is not being lost in vain. Because what this has shown us is that, for example, if Breonna Taylor never happened, this department perhaps will have continued to perform and behave in a manner in which basically, in the report indicates, bias against Black people. So it's telling, man. I'm reading this report and I'm like, wow. I mean, it's incredible that this day and time, and when you hear the mayor speaks, the police chief, Mayor Greenberg, police chief Jacqueline Gwynn Valaros, they speak. They said, well, it's going to take time for this kind of behavior to be rectified. No way this should take time for this behavior, because if you're Black, you don't have time for it to be rectified. You need to rectify right away. So it's still going to come out. I said in the last show that we're going to have the same type of investigation for the Memphis, Tennessee incident that occurred. Now, what's interesting is what was mentioned in this report is another unit. This time it was Viper. Remember last time we talked about the Scorpion unit? Mm-hmm. The unit was Viper. This Viper unit was out of control. When Eric Garland, the Attorney General, talks about throwing cups on people, calling people monkeys, just videotaping and disregard for Black folks, most of this was done by the Viper unit. And it was a behavior systemic throughout the whole department. So here we are again with the same results, but now it's time for them to make changes, and let's see what happens.
Miles, is there any other community, and I can't think of one, maybe the Latin community, that has such an adversarial relationship with law enforcement? It just seems like there are people who are hired to protect and serve the same people they have disdain for or a bias against, and obviously that's a recipe for disaster. So, is there a way to vet this out? Because it seems to be the lane that is most filled by people who have disdain for us.
I know Damien's going. I know he's going to pipe in on this, because what he's going to say is that this is built into the fabric of this country. It's built into the fabric of our history in this country, and this life that we lived in the country, being Black Americans, have been adversarial with the founding fathers, with the new people who enter the country. It becomes a standard that perhaps the Black people are treated in such a way. But Damon, I'm gonna let you pipe it. I know you are.
It's just I don't, and it's not against either of y'all, but I don't think the word adversarial actually works in this situation. It's a one-sided thing.
Well, I meant from the police side. I mean,
it's a one-sided attack and assault, but it isn't adversarial because we're not adversaries. People are doing things to Black people. It's not
predatory.
Like Black people aren't running around. Yeah.
It's predatory.
It's
not adversarial. It's predatory.
Right.
It's like a lion is not an adversary of a cheetah of a gazelle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's predatory. Man.
People are trying to live their life and they're being assassinated, sought out, killed. So I
okay. So let me rephrase that. Is there any community that is as targeted as our community? That's what we're trying to get to.
Well, Kelvin, let me put it this way. The report said one of the reasons why this exists, and I let the fellas pipe in, is because of failure of leadership. Now, I always wonder, what does a failure of leadership mean when you have oversights that are not looking at what's happening to an individual community? So is it only a failure of leadership in Black communities towards Black people? Or is the leadership in cohorts with the behavior against us? So, I think that you're right, Kelvin. I think that we're it, and we've been it for as long as we've been in this country. So,
yeah, it's great points. Great points.
So Miles, how long do you think it will take him as a former cop? How long do you think it will really get it together? What would you have to do? First day views on the job, like that.
Hopefully before our lifetime, because before we was born, it was happening. Before our grandparents was born, it was happening, and before they was born, it was happening, and now it's happening now. But now what we have is we have evidence. We have video evidence. We have recorded evidence, and it's not their word against our word. It's obvious that this is occurring. Just the invalid searches. Breonna Taylor should be alive right now, like her mom said. Her mom said, "You know what? My daughter should be alive." The behavior, racism killed her. Nothing else to say, but racism killed this young woman, and it's incarcerated, and it's ruined a lot of lives. A lot of Black lives in Louisville have been ruined because of policing, and police are there to protect, and that's a shame.
So, anybody I don't know the answer. So the OJ comes in, and what happens now? What's the next step? What do they do?
The Department of Justice comes in, and they pretty much give actions that's necessary to be taken. So they can what's an oversight. It means what they have individuals come in and someone take over the police department in terms of directing their policies, directing a different have a court that oversees different aspects of the police department, and they give recommendations. And again, the police department is attached to federal funding. It's attached to a lot of different things in the federal government, and there's expectation that they have to perform those things in order to receive the federal funding and by those things, not to be in contempt of court, and maybe perhaps face further oversight. There's 8 police departments now being investigated by the Department of Justice. The New York City Department Special Investigation Unit are now being investigated by the Department of Justice. So this is systemic around the country where departments are now being looked at.
So
if those people doing the investigation they might have bias, potential racist, because the Department of Justice is not known to be this neutral progressive entity either. So sorry, Damon. I feel like I cut you off too. I apologize.
Yeah. I was trying. I was just, yeah, man. You're right about that. I was just like, I was just trying to think who pays for that, local taxpayers, or how does that, who the money pays for that training and all that stuff.
Well, you know,
revamping. Like, Louisville savings some poor. So now, if I'm a poor black person in Louisville, why do my tax dollars got to pay for this shit?
but the federal government's going to come in. They're going to support some of that training, of course. Local dollars going to support some of that training. But there's an existing budget in the police department, and the existing budget doesn't say that you go and beat up black people. The existing budget doesn't say you go stop people legally. Actually, it costs more money to do that because now you have these expensive lawsuits that come out of that. So, I mean, it's advantageous for the local governments and the local police departments to act together. And, of course, the federal government's going to support a lot of that, those trainings, federal funds, et cetera, that goes along with trying to improve this police department.
Jam, I'm sorry, we didn't get a chance. I know you brought some comments about it. I don't know if we got to read the comments. Jamie, we didn't address it. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. Sean says DOJ equals parent just admitted that they raise bad kids, police officers, and they have no control and can't do anything about it. Elaine says Native Americans are over policed and targeted too. This is very true. Yeah. Sean, imagine the money TMZ, CNN, etc. made in ad money from Breonna Taylor coverage. I don't know that they made a lot of ad money, but that's another story. Juan says Shanquella's killer frenemy will face true justice when she gets turned over at the border. Enjoy that Mexican prison princess. Yeah, I don't know, Sean, if they necessarily made a lot of money off that coverage though. That they got a lot of views, which will eventually turn into good ratings, which may eventually turn into ad money, but indirectly. But I don't think if I'm an advertiser, I don't want to advertise during the Breonna Taylor coverage. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're selling ad time.
Well, fellas, I always say, what do we do? Like as a community, we can't wait for the Department of Justice. We can't wait for the police department to turn around. And at some point, as a community, there's something that we have to do that doesn't call for the need of policing in our communities. Because, like I always say, if we waiting for the government to come and help us, we've been waiting for 300 years, and we're gonna be waiting longer. So,
I'm waiting on us as people to realize that we allow ourselves to be policed. I think that there has to be a turn in our mentality where we understand that it's not them who necessarily has the power, it's us as a community. We allow ourselves to be policed by them specifically. We allow this certain structure to be put into place in our communities. And up until this point, we feel as though we're voiceless or we're powerless, or I don't know if we're distracted or whatever it is. But there's a mentality, there's a turn that needs to happen within our minds collectively. I don't know that and I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I feel so angry and upset that I'm saying it out loud like this. I don't know how many times how many Breonna Taylors, Eric Garners, how many Tamir Rices, how many times do we have to see this stuff? See it. It used to be that America had a conscience where, something about actually seeing something happen made us feel something. But now I think we're all becoming deadened inside, and specifically even the other side, the other complexions, I think they're kind of getting used to it as well, or people attaching to certain things to it. I don't know what it's going to take. Man. And I just think it's gonna have to come from us because I think you're right, Miles. It's got to come from us. You know what I mean? We can't rely on anybody else. I'm
gonna Damien to go before we wrap it up. But
yeah, I gotta respectfully disagree with that. I respect you, Derek, but this woman was sleeping in her bed.
Yep.
If you can't put the onus on somebody asleep in their bed for getting killed.
I'm not putting the onus on her. I'm putting the onus on us collectively.
Us sleeping in the bed.
How can listen? Okay, so fine. So when it happens again and again and again and again. What is the reaction? What is the responsibility of the community? Because we allow this to happen. At some point.
Let Damien answer. Let Damien answer. Let him answer.
I'm just curious, like when you say allow, how do you allow the police to pull you over and beat you to death? How do you allow the police to break in your house and shoot it up? How do you allow these things? What are you saying now to me? and this is just a response. You know, we talk about all different types of things, but there's something different between using language like we allow these things to happen, because I don't think Emmett Till allowed that to happen. His family allowed it to happen. I don't think the people who were getting beat for the last hundreds of years were allowing it. It was an attack. These people are under attack. Now, do they have to defend themselves and are organized? I completely agree with that. There has to be a solution, and we have to create some plan to address the issue. But I would never say that somebody who's being victimized and abused for centuries is allowing it to happen. That's just my only issue with it, because I do think there are solutions. And the one I keep saying is, if it comes out of if any fines come out of the police pension, I think the change will happen overnight.
Okay, so that's one. I think that's an excellent idea, and that is an excellent point. So what I mean by allow is we have to get to it. We have to become a one position people if that's necessary. All right. If we mobilize on one position, or you know what I'm saying, and not let other people and let other things and get distracted away from that, that's the start. You know what I'm saying? If you at some point you become complicit in your own victimization, bro. You know what I'm saying? If someone turns around here and slaps me every day, and I do nothing, all right, at what point am I complicit? And I feel collectively, this is what we keep saying. It's becoming. I'm a fall back, but I
think both of you are right. Okay. You know, the reason I said at a macro level, I think maybe you correct in terms of
right.
Like assaulting it, but Derek at a micro level, I agree with Damon, but at a macro level, Derek, what he's saying has a lot of validity, because, you know, like, and not to branch off a Chris Rock type of word, but we have selective outrage. And the fact that there were so many Breonna Taylors before this, maybe not where it led to her death, but it led to this behavior. And the people said they knew that this was happening long before anyone else. But our selective outrage only allowed us to take action or attitude when it happened to the extreme, where the whole nation got wind of it. Whereas when all those micro incidents were occurring, I guess there was no outrage, or I guess we were used to living in that behavior that we didn't know what to do. But I feel like the Department of Justice should have got involved a long time ago, and I don't know how that would have been done. But, you know, the fact that, you know, it didn't happen sooner led to this poor woman's death.
I would just say, I think outrage has been constant. I wouldn't assume that people aren't outraged. Just because we're not made aware of it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I think people have been fighting. We've seen riots throughout the last few decades, and all different types of things we can point to as historical context that there's been consistent outrage. There's just been more collusion to push things under the rug. Everybody calm down. Oh, don't become part of the problem. There's been a lot of that, as opposed to like, how do we solve the issue?
So that's a reaction, right? We're always in a reactionary stance, all right? At some point, we have to be in a proactive stance. We have to start thinking. We have to mobilize and come up with an action plan. We have to start moving in one direction, all right? And understand where we're trying to go. We have to have a destination.
It's got to be economic to me.
Yo, absolutely.
I agree, Kelvin.
Because we all need that. We all,
Jewish people, gay people, you know, if you do something to them, your business is shut down, you're done. Like, there has to be repercussion. There's got to be something that makes them feel it. And with us, they just feel like there's not going to be any recourse. Like, there's just, you know, and that's the thing. People easily do it. And we've got to make sure that we build ourselves in a position where if you do something to us, it's going to cost you as well, more so.
I agree,
and that's
where my suggestion stems from. If the police pension has to pay those fines, they're gonna self-correct, because you're not going to make me lose my pension because you a dumb dickhead racist, right? Like, I'm gonna stop you so I can feed my family. Like, I think that will be the first step that'll really solve the problem. But my concern is this idea that we need to, it's like victim blaming in a way where the victim has to find a way to do everything. And I do believe we have steps to take, but I think there is a major concern with this mentality that we have to be this one monolith when that's never been a thing in all of human history. You know what I mean? There's these unnecessary expectations placed on people who have been abused for centuries to be able to do these things that have never been done in human history to solve problems that are completely unique to the group in history too. So I would say that we do need to solve the problem, but the mentality is like we need to understand it in a way that is different than the general social, like, oh yeah, it's this, it's that. It's like, no, there's a deep-seated issue and we know where it stems from. But I think there needs to be more of an approach of like, well, there are actually groups out there doing things. They're not getting the type of coverage, funding, or the support that they may need. Maybe we need to bring awareness to those groups, maybe find ways where they can collaborate and organize. But just saying we got to come together, there's never been a group of people who has ever been totally unified in any time in history.
And I also think that
we don't need total unification. We need,
and I think this is to Derek's point. I think this is to Derek's point. What I perceived is in our community, we have to understand these people are civil servants. They work for us. That's what we keep forgetting. They work for us. There has to be. We've got to fill up these hearings. We've got to be on these meetings. We've got to get involved in this process. I hope young Black men and women decide to start going into law enforcement and start to go into the judicial system and things like that. We've got to fight this system within it as well, not just on the outside of it. We've got to fight it from within and become part of this machine that is always against us. Go ahead, Derek. Go ahead, D.
I just want to go to the comments real quick, and then we can wrap up. So, Jamie, can you bring us some of the comments?
Yeah, EOT chimes in. She says, training sounds like a money wash. It won't change anything. We need to police ourselves. And it's going to get wild and hungry immigrants not caring about the culture of peace in a community. Elaine, a group called New Era Detroit seems to have a good system of self-policing. They're doing great work.
I see those brothers.
Yeah, Elaine again. And Life Camp does good work in New York. All right. Sean, we need to stand together and push for fairness like other groups. Juan, to answer your question, for starters, get rid of no-knock warrants. Those procedures have resulted in the deaths of many innocent people of insert minority group here. Juan says, secondly, modified qualified immunity so that officers are forced to compensate the insert minority groups here for their wrongdoing. Katie, what's up, Katie? Too many politicians are in the police association's pocket. Legislation isn't getting anywhere with that. And Ortiz, police should get super expensive personal insurance like doctors. If the pension doesn't get touched, those personal insurances should pay for their malpractice. That's deep. Sean, Black communities need to own the block so that when injustice happens, we move our money elsewhere. Discipled by boycotting, disciplined by boycotting. E. Ortiz, there are over 200 police foundations in the U.S. that allow corporations to contribute to police departments outside of public funds. Police don't work for the people, they work for businesses.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
They're not public servants.
Yeah.
That's the lie. I will say that.
Yeah, absolutely. We know this. You know.
Miles, any final comments before you go, and how's your business doing?
Yeah, everything's going well. I was just going to say that, there's Breonna Taylor's, happening every day in cities across America. And, when I say, our outrage should be consistent, we should have the same energy whenever a Black life is lost, no matter who takes it. And I think when we start to have that energy that protects all Black lives, regardless if it's the police or it's a person who look like us, then everyone will understand the importance of how we value each other. And I think that's equally important, that we start to have outrage anytime a Black life is lost, anytime by anyone in our community. And it's something that we should think about, something that we have to at one day start to love each other, appreciate each other, and respect who we are.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So Miles, man, thanks for coming on again, man. Hope everything's going good with the business, man. Let me get some dollars, with you, man, somehow, man. I appreciate you, brother.
It's good to be by my brothers, man.
Thank you. Thanks,
you, man.
Miles, man.
Coming through.
Appreciate it,
brother. All right, man. Peace, brother. Peace.
No, Damien, expound on that. So I'm not being my taxes are going to the police in New York City. I'm not being taxed for the police salaries in New York City.
Did I say that?
No, well, they don't work for us.
I
I'm not.
said that they're not civil servants, right? So they're not serving the people. Like, I don't know of instances where we've been like, look at how well these police officers are serving the people in the community.
Well, that's perception. I'm talking about the reality of it as far as what they're supposed to be doing. I'm not talking about how we perceive what they're doing. So if the police work for businesses, what businesses are funding the police, or what business are they working for? If we're not, we have a $93 billion budget in New York. So where's that money coming from?
The business of the American government, and they're funding it through taxes of people, of the actual people who pay taxes. But if you're telling me the perception is what they're supposed to be doing, that the reality is what they're doing, not the perception. Yes, I'm giving you my perception of what I see happening. It's an observation. Like,
right.
Their behavior,
but I think y'all have to declare. But I think y'all have to declare that as a perception. But y'all have to declare that as a perception. We could say, well, the sanitation workers are not working for us. They are.
See, but that's how they put it in writing. So that's like the fine print, in my opinion, right? So it says, oh, they're civil servants in writing, but what they're actually doing, they'll spend more time defending a business storefront than they would defending.
No, I agree with that. I'm just saying, but when you guys inject opinion, I don't want y'all to present opinion like it's fact, though. That's what I'm saying. The perception.
So if the reality is they're defending businesses and they're defending property more than they're defending people, if we can find those numbers and maybe compare them, and then it comes out to be that would be the reality, even if it says on paper something different.
Right, I agree with that. So when I say the police work for, right, when I say the police work for us, in other words, they're employed to serve this community, and not only that, they're paid to do it. Now, if they're not doing it, then there's the breach.
Does it say that in the job description?
Oh, I don't know. I've never been a police officer. All I know is I'm talking about the taxes that are taken. I'm talking about taxes I pay where they go. Now that I can tell you where they go. So I'm saying because if it doesn't go there, then we need to give me some refunds. That's all I'm saying.
I think I agree with you on that. I just would love to know if the job description says you must serve and protect the community, then that would be
I think protect and serve is part of their mantra. It's supposed to be. Man, but I want to know, because if I can, they talk about defund the police, where's the funds coming from? Because what it looked like when I get my check, it looked like it come from me.
They taking your money.
Anyway,
nice. Taking my money too.
Well, all right, let's move on. Fuck the police. So at the end of the day, so we talking about outrage and everything. Did you guys see Chris Rock's Selective Outrage? Anybody?
I checked it out.
What's your thoughts?
I got to separate it. Two things. One, I got to grade it as a comedy special, and then I got to grade it as a revenge tour. As a comedy special, it was so-so. I mean, I didn't think it was one of his better specials. As far as the revenge aspect of it, I thought he needed to get it out, and I thought he got it out.
You fell asleep at one point, and I had to go back to finish it.
It was boring. You didn't like it at all, or you just thought?
It could have been it was late, but I'll say this. I think Chris Rock's style of comedy may not keep up with the style like other prominent comedians are able to use and able to do. Maybe his voice is not as like funny. I think there's something that's, I feel like his style hasn't evolved. Maybe that could be a thing. I mean, some of the things he talked about, I felt like were great subjects to talk about. But the way he approached it was kind of basic. Like the one thing, regardless of what you say about Dave Chappelle, the way he approaches concepts is masterful. Like you never know where he's going to hit you from. Like, if you think of boxing or MMA, he's going to come from the blind spot every single time. And Chris Rock, I felt like you could kind of predict some of the jokes, some of the irony, some of the comments, and it was just like stuff you might have already thought or heard, or maybe you've seen somebody on social media, right? The nuance may not have been there in the way I've hoped.
This is what I think was the Chris Rock thing. What it was for me, I enjoyed it, but I don't think it was his best work. I think that Chris Rock, he went on tour and then did this whole thing. Most of the show, I saw this whole thing when I saw him in concert. So I think people that we say on social media might have took his segments and used it from their own, because he talked about this. Remember, nobody has phones at his shows. Him and what's the little guy on tour? What's the little
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. They went on tour, and I think people know, and then people could go talk about what is and bring up those subject matters. So that's why I probably didn't shock you. I thought it's still good. Masterful's Dave Chappelle. No, Dave Chappelle is on another level of comedy right now. But
It's Chappelle's time right now. It's
Yeah.
it's his time right now. I think
Yeah.
the other thing is this that I look at it. This is
You
this
cut me
first
off again,
work.
Kevin, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you too.
Huh? What happened?
If you cut me off again, I'm smacking the shit out of you.
I thought you were finished.
No, motherfucker. But
All right, go ahead. Finish your point. Finish your point.
No. I lost my train of thought now, motherfucker. Go ahead.
You know we 50-something shit, man. We can't remember shit, man.
Okay, so now we got another black man promoting violence against this is what I think. This is what I think it was. It's the first time we saw him work post slap. And so I think what happens is if you go into it angry, and that's what he did. I think he was angry about this. I think that was the biggest thing. So for the first time, I don't think making people laugh was as important as his own therapy. And I think this was selfishly his chance to tell the world how embarrassed and hurt he was. And I think that's why it didn't come. I think comedy took a back seat to him being able to share his experience. That's what it looked like.
That's a great point. I'm gonna stop real quick, but that was a great point because he didn't seem like he was having fun up there. And that's a great point, Kelvin. That's all I want to say. I really appreciate that because it brought me a new perspective on how I should view it.
I was looking for this shit, man. I couldn't find it no damn where though, man. I missed it, man. I'm serious. I'm looking around like, what hell y'all talking about it? I was looking on Netflix, me and my wife. He's like,
oh,
this is
nigga,
some bullshit, man.
what Netflix you got? Your Netflix got
Hold on. David, when did you watch it? When did you watch it? Because I heard you say something like you kept going back and going. That means you saw it on demand somewhere. Where the hell did you find it?
Netflix.
Well, it was on Netflix. Right?
When?
It's on
I'm gonna leave it
live.
alone. Look,
when?
I heard it was a live thing. I ain't watch it live, but
That's what live. I think it's Saturday night.
Yeah, it came on Saturday night, and then
You
it's
saw
been
it
on
live.
Netflix. Yeah,
That's what live.
on Netflix.
Yeah, I ain't talking about live. I'm talking about the play, the on-demand joint. That's what I'm looking for.
It's on
No,
Netflix.
but you saw it. Like, it was the first live special Netflix ever did.
Okay, great. Now where's the replay?
It's
still on Netflix.
Y'all
It's the same shit.
It's on Netflix.
It ain't on Netflix, man.
No,
No,
you had to.
No, Rent, go to your phone. Tell them the Rent to go to the phone. Come in there and show you on the phone. It's on Netflix. Right
Wait.
now.
Something, man.
he got Betflix.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And I respect it. Look, send me the app because I want it too.
Narette just commented. Right. Go ahead. What it say? Yeah, Narette. Yeah, Netflix is on some bullshit. That's exactly right.
Yo, y'all got that Netflix because you tell you got that T-Mobile hotspot shit. That shit can't stream Netflix. You got terrible mobile. That shit can't get on. You don't have the.
You disrespecting my mobile in my house, man. Let me do that.
Your
man.
net
What you
got
have to do?
holes. Your net got holes in it. Only show
Netflix and Bill. That's all it is. That's it.
All right,
my
man. I'm gonna
God.
go check it out, man. I better see it too, man. I better find it. I'm gonna come back talking shit. Trust
Can
me.
I say one last thing?
Yeah, go ahead,
There
go
was
ahead, brother.
somebody who did make a comment about he could have went way worse talking about the Smiths,
Yeah,
and he didn't.
that's good.
Because there's a lot that could be said about the family that he could have came out with. He could have went at Will a certain way. He could have went at Jada a certain way. About some of the things that they've done in recent time that could have been labeled. He could have painted a real wild picture in that comedy special because everybody's watching. It's gonna live forever on Netflix, and he could have came out and did a lot more than what he did. I was like, that's a great point too. And I forgot somebody else who pointed it out. It wasn't my epiphany or anything like that. So I like to shout out people for their thoughts. And imagine the things he could have said.
Corey
about
Holcomb
some
was
of the
saying
things
that too.
went on.
Corey Holcomb.
Oh.
I think his brother probably would have said it too. Tony Rock would have probably said it
because he could have said he could have went on stage and just basically, accused them of things. I'm not even gonna repeat it, but imagine the type of language you could have used. It's similar to one of the stories we might talk about later in the show about a teacher and a young boy.
Yeah. So hold up, we got a lot of comments. I want to get to the comments before we go on. Derek.
My baby said, she said, I guess our Amazon Fire Stick is based in the actual Amazon forest of Brazil. That's why Netflix didn't work.
No, Derek, you got to put more minutes on your Netflix.
I got to put some minutes on it. Okay.
You ran out of anytime minutes.
I ran out of minutes. Yeah, man, I don't know. We got
Oh
that.
my
We
God.
said we got that
Oh,
Netflix. All right, man.
Was the crack canic the same person that gave the Netflix password?
Right.
Oh man. Oh man. But
That's
yo,
dope.
before we go, right? There was one more. So some brothers and sisters. So 4 Americans, 4 Black Americans. Let's keep it straight. Right, were kidnapped in Mexico, and then 2 were killed. And so Jimmy, can you just play the video to this, man? They just went down.
We begin our 8 o'clock hour with breaking news. These 4 Americans abducted in broad daylight in Mexico have been found. Sadly, 2 of them are dead. One was wounded. One person was unharmed. It's not clear where or how they were found. The group was kidnapped Friday at gunpoint after they traveled to Matamoros across the border from Brownsville, Texas. Based on receipts, the FBI says one of the Americans went to Mexico for a medical procedure. They've been identified as Zindell Brown, Eric James Williams, and cousins Latavia Tay McGee and Shahid Woodard. They were all from South Carolina. Authorities believe a Mexican cartel likely mistook them for Haitian drug smugglers.
All right, let me jump on this real quick. All right, I'm trying to say this. They went there, but this is my point. I'm just saying this to me. This may not be true, but this is my theory on this. Lake City, South Carolina. I know Lake City very well. South Carolina is my second home. Jamie knows South Carolina very well. Lake City is a bunch of hustling dudes out there. I ain't gonna say everybody in Lake City sells drugs, but I know a few people that's doing some fair time in Lake City. Now, who drives from South Carolina to Mexico? This town, for people don't know, is one of the top 10, maybe 15 cities in the world for saying Americans don't go to drug cartels. Are they trying to get? To me, it looked like they might have been trying to cop minivan 4 people. One of the guy's wife said he didn't know he was going. I didn't know how he got there. I didn't know where he went. So he went out for some cigarettes and he wound up in Mexico. It just to go to get a BBL. So you pass Florida, Texas, all the places got BBLs. I'm gonna go to Mexico to this town to get a BBL.
I gotta admit, it hurt when you say it, but yeah, it does seem.
It don't seem right to me. They found a receipt. Yeah, she might have had a BBL receipt, whatever. That she might have used that to say why we're coming across the lines because I was doing this. It seemed like it was a bad drug deal, went bad. Too many cats get caught out there in Mexico, shot up for stuff like that. I might be wrong.
I can't say that. I'll just say this: I'm not driving in no vehicle from South Carolina to Mexico. I mean, that's just it. I don't care what.
A BBL.
I'd rather get together and we send you on a flight to go get some work done. But driving to Mexico, that's far from anywhere.
People, I drive for a doctor sometimes, do some work when these girls get these BBLs. Or if people ever been to Santo Domingo or come from here, these ladies got to sit on these ice donut things for hours for 3-hour flight. You get that kind of work. You tell them you're going to drive back. Even if you got your stomach lipo, you're going to drive back with this surgery for days to South Carolina. It don't add up. Make it make sense to me.
Maybe they was going for a 4-in-1. They, you get the coke, you get the fat, you get the dope, and you get the butt implant. You getting all of it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they was like, look, we pool our money and we drive together like in a Scooby-Doo van. We lit.
Yeah, I gotta admit, it sound bad when you put it like that.
Wait, what chapter is that in your book, Kelvin?
I think that was 3. I think we covered that in 3.
All right.
Oh my
4-in-1s don't work. Was that the title?
Yeah, she said that BBL was $10 in Mexico. It's not that much in Florida and Texas. You know? Once it's so expensive that people leave country for medical and cosmetic procedures.
Nah, Juan, they were copping coke, man. Sorry, but go ahead.
So Juan says I was at that spot and I was in Matamoros before that shooting in Matamoros happened. To answer the question, we have to ask why the fuck are medical procedures so GD expensive? You know?
It's not.
I know why. Can I answer that one?
Go ahead, bro.
Because people gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I don't believe the whole story. I think they're going. I know a lot of people that's locked up for copping. These dudes are trying to go straight to the man. They're trying to cut the middleman out. Lake City, people don't know. These pats get down for their crown. They are hustlers out there in Lake City. It's a little small town. They a real deal. I think they was going to cop and put those things in stores and whatever. I'm telling you, they use the whole thing. If you think about your family of 4 going across the line, people, if you got to know what part of, and Juan, correct me, Juan, what part of, how close that is to the Texas border, that town? you go in the cop, you look like a family of 4. She got the BBL receipts. What they gonna think? Come on,
that's your reason for going over there. Yeah, no, it's not. It's pretty smooth, I guess. But unfortunately, they wasn't smooth the way it ended. Life lost because of a BBL. Spandex could have worked.
Fucking Sean's an asshole, man.
Yeah, insurance premiums in our government.
Oh God.
Juan says that's why there were 5 people on the trip, so that the person getting the cosmetic surgery could rest, while everyone else took turns driving back to South Carolina.
Juan, you a good brother. Listen, Juan. Let me tell you, I pick up girls from JFK Airport. JFK to go to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
They sit in the back of my car with their asses up in the air, bro. That's a long ride to go with a fucking swollen ass, bro.
Yeah. EOTs agrees with you. Damon might be right in the money. Seems like they were looking for a connect. Yep.
Come on, they're looking for a connect, Juan.
Juan says, I live in Brownsville. Matamoros is 5 minutes from me, and I go to Matamoros frequently. Remember, I said on your show that I have a girlfriend that lives in Mexico.
And Juan, you know how to get down out there in Matamoros. You know that town, Juan. I don't think you get no BBL, bro. Not for that long a drive. South Carolina long ride, Juan. To have your gut.
First of all,
you know what I'm saying?
Are you driving with your family members to do that either? Like, I'm gonna get my cousins together. We're gonna take a trip out there to so she could get her joint up, so she could be on the gram popping.
But the guy wife said she didn't know who he was at. What the fuck?
You don't get lost.
Yo, baby, I'm going to 7-Eleven.
Maybe they were going to get BBLs. Maybe all of them. 4 and 1. That might be a discount. It might be like the thing, the punch card. You get 3, you get 1 free. Maybe.
Juan, they don't have to be the cartel. It could be some other dudes they throw with the connect.
Or it could have actually been the connect, and it was like, oh, we could just take the money and
Yeah.
So you saying they was going to do it and they was going to put it in the person, the drugs?
No, they're going to put it in the car. Like, I'm hustling, right? It looks better. I go speed limit. I got a chick in the car. I got a family. Look like a family. I got a receipt saying, yo, where y'all coming from? Where you go? She got a BBL. She could be like, all the other shit or whatever. She got stomach, tits done, whatever. I'm not driving that long, bro. People go 3-hour flights. They go from Miami to New York, right? Because it's only 3 hours. They sit on the donut on the plane. If you know, it's a big round donut. Women know what I'm talking about. They go in and out, the compression stuff around there. You're not going to be in a compression thing for that long of a ride, bro. Bumpy roads and shit like that. Come on, man. In a minivan, that old ass raggedy minivan.
So I'm still trying to figure out if they was all trying to get a BBL or not. What do you think? Do you think they all went to get one? They could have got calf implants. Somebody was probably looking for the Popeye look. They was probably trying to get something.
Yeah, they probably going to get the hair. The guys are going to get the hair. They was going to get some teeth.
They were
get those big ass white teeth you see on the big white teeth you see on Instagram. Everybody going to get them chiclet ass teeth.
They were all going to live their best life. They was trying to get the glow up.
Once the wife said she didn't know, I was like, nah, this shit ain't that enough.
Man, they were fooled down there, boy.
No,
let me tell you. They were licking their chops when they showed up. Boy.
No rat not gonna know you can drive to Mexico with 3 motherfuckers.
Nah.
Leave Derek out of this.
There you go. I got a happy home. Don't upset that, man.
No, I ain't saying no. I ain't trying to mess it up. I'm just saying no rat.
Yeah, but I agree. Shit. That's not a run. That's not. I'll be back.
Hey, yo, I'm gonna go with Damien and Kelvin and Derek, and we're gonna meet at the diner. That's what you tell. That's nothing. You tell your wife 3 hours. I mean, come on, man.
What diner though we going to?
Oh shit! Look what Juan wrote.
Oh man, unless the 3 guys were trying to go trans, I highly doubt they were all going for BBLs.
They might have been looking for women with BBLs. See, we don't know.
Yo, y'all ever you ever see a baseball game where they start pitching a shutout and everybody gets away from the pitcher? Like you don't notice that it's a shutout happening, a no hitter. Right now, D has not gotten a scroll. So I'm telling you, but halfway point, D has not gotten a scroll. So I'm just letting you know we're on the brink of history right here. That's all. Just letting you know. I don't want to jinx it though.
See what no red said? Derek ain't stupid. See?
Facts. Facts.
So can I ask a question?
He says, but the lady never got the procedure done, right? He's asking.
I don't think so. And what was another one? I think EOT said something.
She says that's a bumpy ride for surgery. I can't stand a pothole on a period cramp.
What Sean say?
Sean says that's a town and country rental from Enterprise with the storage in the floor. You know?
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Juan says at Sharif Hubs, the lady didn't even come close to getting the procedure. They were literally 1 minute from the border when the shooting happened.
Some shit didn't go right there.
Sean said, I know that
was a
family
raid.
reunion special rental.
Damien, what you gonna say?
Yeah, Damien, sorry.
I forgot after that. That was
See,
crazy.
that's that old shit. Everybody getting old, man. So
Yeah, we all getting old. I'm just,
So simply saying we getting old, we all got bladder issues. I know I do.
We talking about the scroll, Damien.
No.
Oh yeah, you got me. So now I got a question.
Yeah.
Because I got a lot of scrolls last time. I'm wondering if there is bias on the show to get me scrolls and save Damon. Damon, did you cut a deal?
No, y'all brands are similar.
On that note, Jamie, take us to commercial, man.
Orchard Blue Counseling Services, or known as OBS, is a private mental health practice based in Southeast Queens, New York. OBS's founder and holistic psychotherapist, Serene Prince, is a Queens native with Caribbean roots. Serene is committed to providing culturally competent holistic psychotherapy to diverse communities while curating a safe healing space for Black and Brown people with compassion and awareness of their total being. As experts in children and teens, we have curated a mental health and wellness community where children are heard, guided in developing a healthy self-esteem, supported in strengthening their inherited resilience, and learn skills to manage their emotions to develop positive relationships with parents, adults, and their peers. Orchard Blue Counseling Services is designed to help children and adults discover their inner healer as we take the journey with our clients to work towards self-acceptance, self-love, and resilience to manage life's uncertainties and embrace its wonders. Our private practice extends to providing consultant services for personal life transitions and business development, parenting guidance and support, and clinical supervision for mental health students and therapists. And be sure to book our founder, Serene Prince, as your next holistic speaker, offering your audience a life-changing experience. Now that you have taken the first step to learning about us, we invite you to walk towards a healing and progressive life with Orchard Blue Counseling Services. Contact us for your free consultation where applicable. Email or call us at info@orchardbluecounseling.com or area code 516-200-1174. You can also connect with us at our website and social media pages, orchardbluecounseling.com, or on Instagram at orchardblue_counseling SBCS, or Facebook at Orchard Blue Counseling.
Yo, what's up? If you like what you're seeing from the Four Brothers here, give us a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay notified when we go live and post new content. Thank you for the support. My brothers, welcome back from the commercial break. Your bladders are clear. So let me get to the Dilbert. Creator Scott Adams goes public with his racism. Gets hit with instant karma. Jamie, can you play the clip, please?
Several prominent newspapers will no longer publish the Gilbert comics because the cartoonist, Scott Adams, has been accused of engaging in a racist rant during one of his live streams over the weekend. Now, we'll show you examples of the rant in question, but before we do, let me give you some context on what sparked his commentary on race. Now, in the video, Adams discussed a poll conducted by right-leaning Rasmussen Reports that said 26% of Black respondents disagreed with the statement, quote, "It's okay to be white." In his video, Adams called Black people who rejected that phrase a hate group. Now, let me pause for a second because it's important to understand what might have motivated the response from some of the respondents. And I should also note that Rasmussen leans conservative. And that's pretty well known, but in case you didn't know, it's important for you to know that. Now, the Anti-Defamation League has labeled the phrase, "It's okay to be white," as a hate slogan because it started over at 4chan, at least that's what they claim. And it was a response to some of the concerns about racial tensions in the country, some calls for equality in the country. And so it was basically meant to celebrate whiteness, I guess, in these forums. And so if you are, let's say, a Black respondent to this survey and you know that history, you might have a negative reaction to it without really trying to conclude that it's, not okay to be white, right? So I think that context is kind of important here.
Yeah, so let me add just a tiny bit more clarity too. Rasmussen doesn't just lean right, it's trash. It's 100% right wing, even puts out right wing conspiracy theories. And it's a little confusing because Rasmussen used to be a legitimate polling organization. I don't know when and how they made the turn, but the way that you could tell that they're trash is their actual polling, which is what they're supposed to be doing. For example, in the 2020 elections, they were wildly off. They keep saying, "Oh, Republicans gonna win everything. Trump's the best. He's totally gonna win." They have winning by large margins, then it loses by 7 million votes. No, they're a dumpster fire. So they ask questions like this to antagonize people.
1000%. I mean, it's a ridiculous and intentionally provocative poll, right? To drive further racial tensions and division in the country. And like clockwork, you have this cartoonist, Scott Adams, take the bait and engage in the rant. So let's watch.
I'd like to focus a lot of my life resources in helping Black Americans. So much so that I started identifying as Black to just be on the team I was helping. But it turns out that nearly half of that team doesn't think I'm okay to be white, which is, of course, why I identified as Black, because so I could be on the winning team for a while. But I have to say, this is the first political poll that ever changed my activities. I don't know that that's ever happened before. Normally you see a poll, you just look at it, you go, whatever. Oh, this is interesting what other people think. But as of today, I'm going to re-identify as white because I don't want to be a member of a hate group. I'd accidentally joined a hate group. So if nearly half of all Blacks are not okay with white people, according to this poll, not according to me, according to this poll, that's a hate group. That's a hate group. And I don't want to have anything to do with them.
Thoughts, gentlemen?
Listen, man.
Black people are the only group that if something happens to them, we get told we got to do better. We got to do this, we got to do that when we are the victims of any and everything. So now there is another way to try to find out how to paint Black people as doing all of this negative stuff when there's no real evidence of it. So now Black people are being painted as a hate group for disagreeing with a statement. I don't know if this is news.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, we got to get over what people think about us. We just got at some point you got to straighten your back. You know what I'm saying? And just and it is what it is. I didn't know that he looked so much like Dilbert though. I guess it was like that part I didn't know. He looked like Dilbert. I was like, oh shit. I don't read Dilbert. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about it.
I didn't know people still read comics.
I don't know, bro, but I couldn't tell you what this.
Where do you find them shits at? People get the paper.
I don't know. People, who gets the newspaper still? God.
I was trying to figure out. First of all, the math when they said 26% of people polled, and he's like half of Black people. The other thing is you would just identify as black, then you see a poll which is clearly erroneous, and that changes your ideology. That he moved to, I don't know if you said it in that clip, but he says he moved to an area where there aren't many black people. Also, he believes white people should stay away from black people. That's a big change in ideology from reading a poll that somebody conducted. You know, it reminded me of when Mitt Romney said that he was so moved when they got a black elder in the Mormon church that he pulled his car over to the side of the street and started crying when he heard it. And I was like, you was able to find the strength to be in it that long without one, and it moved you that much when they got one that you started crying. Like, some of the stuff, the presentation of the stuff is just ridiculous. You know, what I don't understand, the racism stuff I get, that's gonna be to the end of time. What I don't understand, and we was knocking the basketball player for being 23 years old. This man is grown to get up there and say something this stupid that effectively, I think the majority of publications around the country canceled what he does to say something that stupid at this age. Everybody knows there's posturing. Everybody knows racism and prejudice. What gets me is the fact that you are dumb enough to actually reveal it. That's the thing that amazes me in a camera.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, he been holding that in for a long
Yeah,
time.
that's what I'm saying. But like the rest of the country be trying to at least front. But I'm saying you'll be dumb enough to actually, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, but it is what it is, man. We just listen. I'm just tripping off of it. Listen, yes, it's okay to be white. Yes, I'll just go on a limb. Yes, it is okay to be white, but that ain't what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? That was the whole point. And they do that, and like they said, they you know, they do those things. There's different ways you can ask a question and elicit certain responses, and you know, it's like, you know, dog whistle, you know, commentary and all of that. You know, we used to that, man. This is the same old playbook. We know what we're doing. You know, we can't be gaslit on that type of stuff anymore. It's getting played out, bro. It's beyond played out. We know what, you know, so you know, listen, at some point we got to decide, and it's cool that everyone wanted to cancel him and all of that. That's cool, but honestly, for us as a people, we got to let that shit slide off and just be like, okay, we got another one. You know what I'm saying? We got to organize instead of being reactionary, man. We got to organize, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm just tired of the reactions all the time. So, but that's just me, man.
Hey, Jamie,
he has no control of the fact that he's white. Like, you know, we don't have control over how we were born.
Right.
So
that ain't what we talking about.
Simple. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, of course. So,
hey, Jamie.
You know.
Hey, Jamie, play this next clip for us, man. I just want to get the people's thoughts. Just play it for us. I don't even want to bring it up. Let's go right.
New at 5 o'clock, a 31-year-old Fountain woman who police say had sexually assaulted a 13-year-old boy is avoiding prison time.
Prosecutors offered her a plea deal even after she gave birth to a baby conceived with the teen. KRDO News Channel 13 Spencer Soysher joins us live from the El Paso County Courthouse where that plea deal was taken. And Spencer, the mother of that boy, is furious about the deal.
Bart and Heather, Andrea Serrano pleaded guilty to an amended charge of incest, though the 13-year-old boy's mother says that they have absolutely no relation. She said she objected to this plea deal when the DA's office showed it to her. Still, it didn't matter, and it appears Serrano is going to avoid prison time.
There's no blood relation. There should be no, incest charge being allowed.
Originally charged with sexual assault on a child, Andrea Serrano is avoiding prison time. She struck a deal, pleading guilty to incest only. The boy's mother is upset with that deal because police say Serrano gave birth to a child she conceived with the 13-year-old.
Had my son have been a little girl and this had been a 31-year-old man, they would be seeking incarceration, which they are not. And I don't think that they realize that, boy or girl, this is going to follow him for the rest of his life.
KRDO is concealing the identity of the boy's mother because her son is a victim of a sex crime. In May of last year, Fountain police claim Serrano admitted to them she was drunk when she had sex with the 13-year-old boy in her car and then was carrying his child.
Bro, so Roberta Kelly here, 31, had sex with a 13. So this is a double standard here, man. Because all four of us brothers would have been in jail. We know that.
You know,
been under the jail. You know. His mother's mad because she's about to be a grandma at 30.
Can I ask a question? So she admitted to being drunk with the 13-year-old in her car. Isn't there some laws?
Like, I'm not riding the car with my
teacher,
student.
educator.
Yeah, how did the kid get in the car?
So there has to be something right there, right? Why wasn't she charged with any type of reckless endangerment of a child, of a minor? None of that matters. No.
The kid wasn't
I
running away
thought they
from
would
something.
go with temporary insanity, not incest. I mean, this woman had sex with a minor in a car
And they're not related.
in public.
They're not related.
And
Right, but they gave her incest.
That was a charge that was a charge that was destined to fail, bro. Like they essentially did not charge her because there's no way that can be incest if you're not, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
There's no way that can carry. So
But the attorney said it's a made-up charge that they had to give her, which nobody, even the mother, didn't understand.
Right.
It should be black and white. You have minor, like Damien said in pre-show, she raped the boy. I mean, that's just it.
And got away with it.
And his life is effectively damaged forever. When he get 18, he's responsible for paying for that child. Am I correct?
Yeah.
He better not be.
Yeah.
He what?
Undermine it depends on say I've seen it before where the parent will have to pay went after the child support, but that'd be kind of ill, yeah, because he ain't got no job, he can't get a job. So I think his parent will have to be responsible for the child support, I believe. Go ahead, what Juan say?
Juan says this, if it was us guys, we would have been put under the jail, punished that, redacted equally.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, think about it. When that kid is 13, he's only 26.
Yeah, EOTs, this old slag needs to be under the damn jail. How can she have custody being a sex offender? She shouldn't be near any child, including her own.
Especially if she was charged with incest. So
Yeah.
then you're going to give her a child to raise?
Recipe for disaster right there.
All this grown man.
Who is
dick
this
she coulda
person
got.
and how did she finagle the system that well? Like, is she
Yo,
this
what kind of
mastermind?
facts?
Did you see her face though? You could see, the elevator they go all the way to the top.
You gonna get the scroll this time. I
No.
wasn't gonna go there.
You can see clearly there's something wrong with her. Like
Yeah,
it's
what's wrong
like
with
you can see they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Something's wrong with her. You can see it. It's not like you had to.
Tell
Think about
us
that.
some of those words. Tell us
She
some of
said,
those words.
Women can get sex quicker than men. It's a mad dudes out here. She could pass when she was taking that when she was at that bar, wherever she was at getting drunk. She could have grabbed so many grown ass.
But that's not why they do it though.
I know. It's just crazy.
That's part of the sickness. I just want to know
why
how
they
they
do
get into the classroom. That's what I want to know. When I was a kid, we didn't have no 20-year-old teachers.
Yeah.
Our teachers have been around for 30 years, the ones I had.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to smash none Miss Carpenter, Miss Crabtree, none of them old ass. Look at their names sound old back in the day. You know what I'm saying? You know what teacher I want to smash back in the day?
We had a teacher named Miss Vernon, used to look like a wrestler. And she used to be sleeping with the black ball players. No. You see Miss Vernon, you reverse that. You see Miss Vernon. No. You see Miss Vernon.
That was abusive, huh?
So there's no scroll for that?
But it's true though. I'm not saying she looked like her. I don't know what the.
So saying true things should not get you a scroll then.
All I can tell you is this: if I bring a picture of Miss Vernon on the show, I mean,
I'm just gonna say let's go then. If that's
you seen
that's the
King Kong
best, then
Bundy
let's
the
go.
wrestler? You seen King Kong Bundy the wrestler?
Damn.
Put a ponytail on King Kong Bundy. That's Miss Vernon. There's no difference.
That's not a scroll, right?
That's true.
I'm just preparing. We got an hour left, right? Half an hour left. I'm just preparing.
No, I'm just saying.
I didn't like how that the fellow co-host cut the guy off because he was saying something that I kind of supported, and then she just cut him off. I felt like that was also rude. There's a double standard there because if he cut her off, there might have been some comments on that. But we should ask the ladies in the chat, ladies who are going to comment on this video, what they think the punishment should be for that woman.
Yo, Sean is hilarious.
Yeah, he said her lawyer must have been Robert Kardashian from the Chris Rock special.
Fact. Big facts on that. Like, she got a good lawyer, man. But yeah, I think so the son's mother wants custody of the kid.
Yeah. Juan had a comment. He says, if you can bring that up, Jamie, man, that'll be real cool. He says, if I'm not mistaken, the victim's mother is fighting for custody of that redacted child. Yeah, that's the hustle. That's the hysterectomy. Absolutely. You know what I mean? No, but that's the play. And she's using her brain, man. She's like, she's gonna get custody, man. And because that woman should not have custody of that child.
R. Kelly got 30 years. plus
Yeah,
some
life
more,
in
right?
prison. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like it's crazy. This lady's home chilling.
Yeah.
Damn. You have custody. What do you say?
In junior high, D, there was a few smash.
So wait, I think it was. I can't remember the names. I think it was like one maybe that was smashable. I could think of. I can't think. Everybody was old, man, in elementary school. Well, they're middle school. 13 is middle school, so I can't remember, man.
Yo, EOT's ain't no joke. She said, "F that B, sew her butthole shut, and keep feeding her."
Damn.
Oh my goodness.
Damn, it's
Feeding her,
her
and feeding
soul.
her, and feeding her. Yeah.
Yo, that's
Prison
not
would
a
be
scroll
safer for
either.
her if that was
So
my son. Absolutely. Yeah, honey.
agreed.
Yeah.
So y'all all are witness. Everybody in the chat should be witness that these things are not scrollable offenses. So
No,
bring on the video.
I think that was scrollable. I think that was scrollable. I gotta
That's
admit.
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying
That was a
right
good
now.
one, man.
That
That was a
wasn't a
good
scrollable offense. The
Bro,
King
no,
Kong Bundy, which is crazy. It's not.
King Kong Bundy was.
I don't
I used
know.
to
It might have
watch
been.
him
They
wrestle.
might have been twins. I don't know.
Wrestlers were so out of shape back then. Some of them. So anyway,
Oh my God.
let's go to some relationship stuff real quick, brother. So
Yeah, let's do it.
You ready? All right. In marriage is is marriage bigger than you and the partner? Jamie, play the clip.
To me, love is a fight. You know, you make up in your mind that this is what I want. And even when you get on my nerves, I'm staying right here. I'm not going anywhere because I made a commitment. And I believe that I married the right person. And I'm not married just for me. I'm married for legacy. That's how I think. I think in terms of team, in terms of when I'm gone, what is this love going to say to the world? What will my children say about our love after this? So it's not very, I'm mad, I'm leaving. It's so much more involved. Even when we went through our stuff, I was like, we got too much. This is too much to separate. Music, kids, marriage, ministry. There's so many things. And I was like, am I selfish and say just me and I'm gonna leave? Or do I say, how do we get past this and get to forever?
The woman from Mary.
I have no idea who she is.
I think she's a gospel singer. I think that looked like her.
You're supposed to know. You the gospel motherfucker.
A lot of people look like that. I have to say.
Ain't lying. They all got the same.
Oh.
They all got the same shit, man. Same wig, all of them.
Well, I mean,
Did
I
they get
guess
those
it's a
wigs
matter.
from Mexico? 4 for 1.
I guess it's a matter of perspective. Theoretically, first of all, I was told this week that I have a type. We're gonna revisit that.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
We're gonna revisit that because I'm
You
curious.
were dinner with somebody, and 2 people told you that.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. So I want to say that. But as far as love being a fight, I mean, yeah, it's going to entail fighting at times. That's just what it is. But I can agree with that theoretically. I do believe that it's not a one size fits all thing. Some people love differently. That's just the bottom line. There's just different ways people love. But I do believe it does take a certain amount of discipline and dedication to keep something together that you want, even when every day is not going to be filled with, romance or agreement. You just have to, if you love a person, I think it transcends those things. Sometimes you fall in and out of love with people, but there's still a mutual respect there. And like she said, she made a commitment, and people that take that commitment serious are willing to fight for it. So I agree with that.
Yeah, that's a marriage is something that you got to choose that every day, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's times when, the ego's a mother sucker, boy. Let me tell you, because you can. First thing you got to do, man. First thing I did was just got all thoughts out of my mind of everybody I ever been with, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't let my ego go back to whoever was around before just because I'm upset with my wife. You know what I'm saying? Now you see it all the time. People start searching, reaching out for exes, or I used to be this kind, I used to be that kind. Your ego get involved in it, man. Now you back to some of the same old, shenanigans or what have you. So
Right.
you got to, man. That's the only way you're gonna make it. So otherwise, you're gonna be back to it. So it's dope when you can get rid of your ego. Get yourself humble, man, and just reconnect and just connect with one another, man, because you got to choose that bad boy every day, because they're going to say something that's going to piss you off. Yeah, she lost me at ministry.
Yeah.
I love
she
fucking
me too.
Sean, man. That motherfucker, I love him.
What's up, Loretta's Only? How's it going? So yeah, I would say this. When it comes to these type of conversations, I respect both of y'all for everything that y'all said. I respect her for her comments, but I'm choosing me. If it comes down to it,
Well, listen, bro, you're gonna
me
have
against
to
the
choose.
world.
You're gonna have to choose yourself, bro.
It's
But
all
what I'm
eye on
saying,
me.
but I'm just telling you, you're gonna have to choose yourself, man. But you gotta understand that it's part of you. It's part of the new you. You know what I'm saying? It's a lifestyle choice, man. It's a lifestyle choice. It's the new you. So that's the way you got to make it. And there gonna be times when the old you pops up. You know what I'm saying? And makes an appearance. And that's cool. And that's cool in spots because you still got to be you. But you got to know that you chose this new lifestyle, that you choose this new direction.
I respect that. I would just
Yeah, family comes first. Ministers lose their families when they put their congregation first.
I thought it was supposed to be God first anyway, but what do I know? But Kelvin, I'm curious. Can I ask one last question? What is your type? Can you just let the world know? I'm curious. I want to know.
Well, first of all, I don't know that I have a type. I mean, I've been accused of that. That's what I'm saying.
Bullshit.
Okay.
Sorry.
I think we got to revisit that though. I'll go around the room and ask everybody, what is your type?
Wait. How you just remixed that so quickly? I caught it. You didn't answer the question. You was like, I don't know. But let me ask the group.
So I was told by a very credible source that I have a type. Now, I showed a picture. I showed a picture of somebody I had dated.
Allegedly, I heard you showed a few people pictures. Different people. They all look
very, very fair point. The problem was I was told I had a type on the first picture, I believe. I think of the first picture I was told I had a type. So that was before there was a body of work. So I want to know, do you guys have a type?
Kelvin has you ever saw School Days? And you saw the wannabes?
I know that movie very well.
Derek, go ahead, Derek. Start the ball rolling.
Why would you ask Derek that question? That is so wrong. Derek, we know your answer. Don't worry about it. We're gonna skip you. We know your answer.
Wow.
I've had this conversation.
Thank you, Norette, for the solidarity.
Yeah, I know Kelvin's type. Yeah, exactly. Topic keep the open relationship and play No Church in the Wild.
Yo, that song is wild.
Listen, the type I have is the type of woman I have is wet.
Is what? What do you say?
As long as they wet, they good. That's my type.
They wet. Damn, here we go.
First and foremost.
There you go. Top of the eighth inning. Just two and 2/3. Just sailing along.
First of all, I respect that answer. I think that was the best answer of the night.
Single to right field.
That was the best answer of the night. Because who wants a dry box? Like, think about that, right? Sandbox, sandpaper.
Let's tie it up. Let's tie it up. Let's tie it up.
First of all, if I get a scroll,
let's tie it up. Let's tie it up.
Here you go. Uh-oh.
Nobody wants Desert D.
I know that girl.
How you get rug burn on the bed? Nobody want that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, all right, here goes another question.
Ain't even on the rug.
Why some men struggle with leading in the relationship? Jamie, you have a clip for that.
There's just as much fear of submitting to someone as being a leader. A part of us being in survival mode is that you can't show weakness. That's every animal. When every animal is in survival mode, you have to hide your weaknesses. It's about getting through the next moment. And what we've been through as Black people in this country, we still very much in survival mode. Absolutely. It's harder for you to think long term. So now I gotta leave my survival, not my love, not my happiness, not my survival, up to this individual, or I gotta lead another individual. And a lot of us haven't reached a place in our own relationship, like with self, to where we healed enough to realize, oh my God, I'm capable of this. This person does trust me. It's not about survival anymore. We passed that, we actually building something here. So I think we definitely, as Black people specifically, have to give ourselves grace. We have one of the most unhealthy relationships with leadership that you could point at.
Shout out to my frat brother right there, Justin.
I think it's simple. I think for often, a lot of times we haven't been in positions of power. And I think, we're always fighting an uphill battle. And so I believe that Black women in our community do better than Black men in the corporate arena and things like that. And I think that is, there used to be a thing where a Black man it felt like he wasn't in charge at work. He wasn't in charge of society. So then the idea was at least trying to be in charge at home. And, if he doesn't have that, where do you feel like? So when it comes to leading, sometimes he's had to be in the passenger seat a lot more. I knew a lot more guys in the 90s that was staying with girls than girls staying with guys. I knew a lot more guys that had to be in somebody else's car in their name that was a female than the opposite. And it just seems like we had always been a pace behind by, be it intentionally, it was by design, but it seemed like that was the case. So when it comes to leading, it's kind of hard to lead when you don't have your own place, or you don't have your own career, or you don't have your own money, or you don't have your own opportunity. And that's what it looks like to me.
I mean, I would need to see the statistics on it, because I do still think there's more Black male CEOs and people in those positions of power than Black women, but that's the assumption and that's the narrative that's being pushed. But
yeah, but go to the 99% of the people that's not CEOs. Go to the 99.
I mean, we still need to see those. We still need to see those statistics, because that is the narrative. And usually, when those narratives are being pushed that much, it's always negative towards Black men. But I hear what you're saying. And
no, and that's why I preface it with that's what I've seen. That's what I've seen.
Right. I want to get rid of all the relationship talk shows online right now, because I'm tired of hearing these people talk about these things using armchair psychology, and not saying that I'm a psychologist or a trained professional in any way, shape, or form, but I'm tired of hearing these people go on and be like, we need a relationship with self. And they lips is double chapped. And you know what I mean? And they're sitting there like, that's powerful. It's like, yeah, right. Cut it out. Because at some point, we have to just be honest with each other. And everybody's going on trying to massage the truth, trying to sound good. At some point, you got to just say, look, you have to take responsibility for the choices you make when it comes to picking a partner. That is a sentence that everybody should be able to agree with. If you're not
but where does it
choosing
come
the
from,
type
though?
of people,
Where does it come from?
The choice, the individual to choose, the individual right to choose and say
No,
yes
what
or
I'm
no.
saying is, if we would listen to this premise that Black men don't feel like, and maybe it's a loaded question, that they're leaders, or it's hard for Black men to feel like leaders, if that's the case, and I don't know that's the case. All I'm saying is I've seen a lot of guys that had a female sign for their car. I've seen a lot of guys, the movie Baby Boy, which everybody feels a classic that makes me puke. The movie Baby Boy, that it exemplified that. Some man that was just still a boy. It's just the bottom line. And I don't think that's reflective of everybody. But realistically, Black men have not been, in corporate America, Black women seem to be thriving more than Black men. And it doesn't have to always be corporate America, but it just seems like she's making the money or whatever, and this guy has been forced to capitulate. That's what it seems like.
Well, I mean, all I would say to that is we definitely have to be clear on those movies and those things being perpetuated.
Give me the eye test, Damien. Right now, since we don't have statistics, the eye test. What do you see?
I don't see, but if we live the life on the eye test, we know what's being presented to us is full of shit. So if if we go off the eye test, we should all be dead. Because all we do is drink, smoke, kill, and do stuff like Ja Morant. Like, so at some point we got to say, you know what? I can't listen to this anymore because I've seen it so many times. And you're not one of those people. None of us are one of those people. I don't know if Black men generally feel that way. That's just being said. I thought that was just his experience. They don't say that. Black men don't say that. The ones that I've spoken to, they don't say what these people are generalizing about them. But I have seen what you are talking about. But that does, by design. Black men are thrown in jail for things that they don't have nothing to do with at a higher rate than anybody else. Black men are the first ones to get blamed for things, first ones to get fired. Like, we know these statistics to be true. So
what is the residual effect of those statistics?
I would say the things that you're talking about now, that it seems like you see all this stuff, but it is done by design. So if it's being done by design, we have to discuss the design before we start saying, oh, black men don't feel like they could lead, or black women are leading black men. It's like, wait, we don't even know what the cause is, what the issue is, what's actually being said. We don't have no statistics. It's kind of hard to rush to those. That's why those conversations are all hearsay until somebody goes to, like, I forgot the website. They go to the website, they look up these statistics, validate it, and then come with some data points. Sorry, I'm going off because it's
no, I was just reacting to the clip. So I was reacting to the clip. That's all I was doing.
If we're talking about eye tests, I can just say specifically, growing up, we all know, we hear that black men were not involved in their children, in their lives and all of that kind of stuff, right? When I was coming up, I just know that when I was dropping my kids off at the daycare center, I saw a hell of black men picking their kids up, you know what I'm saying, and dropping them kids off. So now years later, when you start to find out that black men are actually the most involved in their children, that was not a surprise to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw it with my own eyes. So if I can look at that, then this other narrative about how, black men can't care for themselves, or all this other kind of stuff, how they riding off of a woman. There are many that are doing it. But personally, my friends, the people that I know, you know what I mean? Very few of them, they're all able to take care of themselves. They're all out here. They've been married. They had kids. They're going out into the world. Some of them married, divorced, what have you. But they were all able to do that. So I don't know. I guess I'm hearing that there are, and I know a few. Again, I know a few. All right, that are out there on the other end of the spectrum. But I can't put that on brothers like they don't know how to lead, or they don't know how to hold a home, or take care of a home, or take, you know what I'm saying, or take care of the responsibilities or whatever. You know what I mean? I just can't. I don't see that. I actually know quite a few who have custody of their kids. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. So the rest of it I don't know about.
Well, I just thought that's what he said, that's the premise in the clip. That's what I thought. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I reacted to the clip. I'm sorry.
I get it.
I respect it. You got it.
Yeah. I guess sometimes there are fallacies written in all of this stuff.
No, I got you. We
got to be aware of the fallacies too.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Real quick, man. So there's another clip. Jamie, load them up today. There's nothing wrong with pleasing your man. Jamie, can you play this clip, please?
Whenever I hear a sister say that she don't like men, including our gay sisters, when they say, I can't stand men, I don't want no man, I'm tired of them, I'm moving on, and a lot of things, then they really haven't had a man, because there's nothing more satisfying than being able to please your man in the home, especially in regard to fixing his food, fixing his dessert, helping him dress, and just little small things that we can make him feel wanted. We have a man who everybody hates. We hate him, his mama hate him, his family hate him, the white police hate him, the regular white men and white women hate him. This is a man who is hated by everyone. The only solace that God made for him was us. And when he comes to us and can't get any sanctuary at all, then he don't have no life. And then they win, because what they want to do is to destroy him and make us think that we are better than him, so that we will help the enemy destroy our own man that God gave to us. We have the best man on earth. Everybody want him. He looked better than everybody. He's stronger than everybody. He is the best, the wisest, and the most beautiful. Now,
that's a beautiful sister, boy.
Respect. She has a point. I'll just say that, because we do know black men are hated throughout. But we also know black men are considered the most sought after men in the world globally. So there has to be something to those 2 points if they're both basically factual. Any thoughts? Because I don't want to go on my next rant. I'm just chill right now. I'm just chill back. Look at that.
There's my lady right there. Come on, sis. Preaching, living on my man is a top priority. He can tell you if I'm exaggerating. Not at all, baby. I got a thing.
See, that's the problem. Noretta has a type. Derek is her type. That's the problem. That's what it is right there.
I like that. That was a good one.
Unfortunately, that sentiment is falling on deaf ears with this generation. This generation, I don't see it. I don't see this generation there's such a divide now that, you know, uplifting one gender, especially men in our community, just seems like it's a rarity. So, you know, I like the sentiment, but today it's more of a me first, selfish, you know, self-preservation, you know, what can he do for me idea.
Oh my God. So I'll say this. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Derek.
No, I was just reading it. That's all. Sharon is right. Everyone loves a Snickers. ERT is checking in, man.
Listen, you know, I'll just say this. I can say that there is, you know, I've had experiences in my life where I was with, you know, a lady friend at some point, and her legs started to shake uncontrollably, and it was a great pleasure to me. I was like, wow, there is no better joy than pleasing your partner. So I think, you know, it might go both ways. And they
even trying to get some ass on the show.
Wait, what?
First
of all, it's mostly men on this show, and it's an all-male panel. I'm not the dude with the glossy lips and the sparkling beard.
We all need to love ourselves. You gonna get one of these views, and you gonna get one of these views and shit.
Oh my Lord! It ain't that. I'm just saying, pleasing your partner is a good thing.
He said, after I give a woman a Colt 45 more liquor, her legs.
Listen, we know it's all about clapping cheeks. So if you imagine if you could feed her and clap her cheeks crazy. What happens then?
I'm gonna just throw it out there.
Wait, what? No, wait, dude. Oh, come on.
We got a tie. We got a tie. We got a tie.
Come on. I got a question for you then.
Go ahead.
I got a question for you then.
Right. Before I go to the next one, go ahead.
What do you think on that subject of being pleased by a woman?
What do I think about being pleased by a woman?
Yeah, as just you in your life. What do you think is
the closest thing to heaven? Anyhow.
See? Look at that. That's beautiful.
Let me see what we got. Amy, where am I at? A woman saying that a man that takes care of another man's child is weak.
Yeah, baby. Mm-hmm.
Jamie, play that clip for us. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, y'all, that's just checking it. She said black men are the most feared, which is why they're they're so sought after. Been that way since creation. Now, young sisters don't understand the power in loving, protecting, and supporting the good black man.
All right.
There ain't something. You ain't laughing out loud.
Well, Danny, what up, man? Jamie, play that clip I just read and get you did. Got it.
You said that a man that takes care of another man's child is weak. That's what you said. Can you please explain why?
That's not your child, that's not your responsibility. Your intentions may be in the right place, but it's not, you're not gonna benefit from it. It is very rare. I know y'all love to use Shaq as an example.
Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal, I think he wasn't raised with his biological father.
Oh yeah, right.
But how often does that
and
happen?
LeBron.
That's very rare. And even so, children deserve both of their biological parents, which is why it's imperative for both men and women, but mainly women, because there's more women out here with children out of wedlock than men. Pick the right person the first time.
So now, what if that doesn't happen?
I don't know what to tell you. Focus
No.
on yourself.
Because you can't say. So you're saying that every man that takes care of another man's child is weak.
Yes.
It is impossible for every man to grow up. Well, right now, as we're talking, every man does not have a man in their life. Or every child and every boy and every girl does not have a man in their life. So who's supposed to take that role as the man in that life?
The biological father. If the biological father is not there,
then
maybe I could give leeway for if the father died. Maybe if the woman's a widow, maybe it's not nobody's fault that the man passed away. But even that is rare. It's rare that a man is taking care of a child because the biological father is dead. You have a child. Kids are expensive. Why I don't see the point of taking all of your hard-earned money and investing into somebody else's DNA. And then statistically, children who are raised by step-parents, they don't turn out any better than children who are raised by single parents. Blended families have a very high failure rate. Where you get that statistic
from, though?
But it's true though. but it's true. Children usually turn out better on average.
See, it's some people just don't need to be on certain things for me. Because, all right, you know, when they like, there's always more men than women anyway, right? And out here and stuff like that. And they talk about like this whole poly thing is coming up. So, like, say if a brother went to war, he died right in war, and he had children left behind. It's counted on the his brother probably would take care of his kids, right? So, what would she have to say on that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that. That's why you got godparents and shit like that. She just sounds fucking stupid, yo. Straight.
Oh
asshole.
damn, that's vicious.
Nah, she's
Well,
stupid.
I feel like she was disrespectful to Obi-Wan Kenobi because he raised Darth Vader's kid. I feel like he was disrespectful to so many like whoever raised Forrest Gump, she was disrespectful to. I think she was out of line with her disrespect. Who else did she disrespect openly? She disrespect Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
God wasn't there. He wasn't on earth.
Oh!
You know, she's out of control.
Facts.
I don't think we could support this type of rhetoric.
Yeah, Joseph raised Jesus, right, Kelvin?
Mm-hmm.
See?
Yeah.
God is the ultimate deadbeat.
But again, it goes back to this platforms and things like that. Like he asked her, where'd you get that statistic from? She's like, you know, so it's just, I mean, it's just one of those things. Now, it's interesting. A lion won't take care of a cub that he didn't sire. That's it. We who have some, you know, intellect and are civilized, you know, realize if there's a need, you know, we help fill it. If you fall in love with the mother, then part of that is being with the child as well. So, yeah, it's just embarrassing. Like they said, if you don't know what you're talking about, you shouldn't speak at all. But unfortunately, now, again, if she said my preference would be, I wouldn't date somebody with children. I wouldn't want to raise somebody else's child. Then say that. But to say a person is weak, actually, you can make the case that a person is stronger to actually take care of a child that they didn't conceive, to actually go and stand in that gap.
Struck by lightning, more like it, man.
Hey, Damon, I'll be right there. I'll be right there with you, brother. Right there with you.
So my laptop, what happened? I don't want the chain lightning.
Jesus was a side baby, and his mother must have been cheap.
And now I'm just asking the questions that, you know, people don't want to answer. And now I'm going to get struck by lightning because I'm asking a valid question. That's mean.
Yeah, they don't talk about Joseph, Kelvin. Maybe I haven't been to church. They talk about Joseph in church.
Yeah, disrespect Superman, disrespect Batman, disrespected Uncle Ben and Spider-Man. All these great males who were raised by somebody else who went on to save the world. Iron Man. He died with the Infinity Stones, and y'all still hating? He saved the world.
You want to say something, Kelvin? Sorry.
No, I talk about Joseph because he's important. He's very important in the life of Christ. But he definitely, you don't hear anything about him, especially in Catholicism and things like that. You don't, you know, and he's not, you know, like a deity like they consider Mary, which she's not either, but they do consider her that, you know.
Yo, they look.
Get him, Kelvin.
Listen, God is lucky they didn't have child support court back then. You'd have got him.
Thanks.
Oh man!
I'm looking at. There you go. There's the champion. That's right, David. You can't listen. You can't mess with the champ.
Oh,
you
man,
can't mess with the reigning champ.
Come on, Jamie. That's BS, man.
I had the no-hitter going, and then I said, but I jinxed it.
You talked about it.
Supposed to move to the other side of the dugout, not say nothing.
Kelvin is a 1% of pastors remembering Joseph.
Yo,
how does it feel to be in the 1%, Kelvin?
Well, somewhere, at least got it somewhere, right?
Well, on that note, man, like we thank for everyone checking us out, man. Hang in with us for these 2 hours, man. We love you all. We catch up next week. We'll say peace, and peace.
That would be fly.